This is INCRadio, DCEM 954, the voice of truth, the official radio station of the Church of Christ, or Iglesianicristo.
Welcome to How You Doin, a health and wellness podcast from INCRadio New York Satellite Studio. Whether you're on the go or taking a minute to breathe, we've got real tips, good conversations, and weekly check-ins to help you live well without losing your city pace. Are you ready? Let's get to it.
That's right. Let's get to it. Hey, everyone. Welcome back to How You Doing, the health and wellness program brought to you by INCRadio New York Satellite Studio. Of course, I'm Brother Christian Rockefeller, if you don't know me yet, but today we're going to be talking about everyday choices for a healthier you. So we're going to be talking about also how we can eat healthy when life is busy, and groceries aren't exactly cheap these days. So we're going to talk about all these different kinds of things in our episode today. And of course, with me is Sister Abby. Hi, Sister Abby. Say hello to everyone. She's muted.
Sorry. I have multiple windows open, so I had to go find where this is. So good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone. Thank you again for tuning in. We hope we have another fun conversation on today's topic. So I'm excited to discuss with you all.
Yes, I'm very excited as well. And of course, thank you so much for everyone tuning in on our live chat. Remember, we are no longer doing our hashtags. So make sure when we're going to have a question of the day for today as well. So this is also your opportunity to join us for the Where You At segment in our new program here on INCRadio New York. So our question of the day, if at the Abby can also post it on the chat so our viewers can also follow along. What is your go-to budget meal? Now, remember, when you answer this question, make sure you answer with your name and your local congregation. So remember, we're no longer doing hashtags, and just wait for the question. Oh, Sister Abby already posted the question on our live chat. So make sure you answer that, and this is your opportunity for the Where You At. And when Brother Lance is ready with the traveling trophy, we will officially give that away to everyone. But yeah.
We have a little glimpse of it, and it looks exciting. So
it's looking nice. So
yeah,
really something to look forward to. But yes. On to our next segment, actually. Does Kia Tech have it, Sister Abby?
So we can play our bumpers.
Yes. Kia Tech, if you can play our Where You At bumper, please. All right. So where you at? Where you at, Sister Abby?
I'm in Bristol currently. But yeah, so this is where we recognize, our the most active, I guess, local congregation. So again, we're not doing the hashtag. This is kind of to replace the hashtag challenge. So don't forget to really to put your local congregation, because that's how we know that you're representing your local. I know some of from last week's chat, there were great answers, great responses, great conversations, but you forgot to include your local congregation. So don't forget to do that as well. So if Brother Christian can, answer for last week's episode, right? Who was the top local congregation from last week?
Oh, I think it's a given. Last week's top local congregation is, drumroll, Forest Hills. So
yes.
Congratulations, Forest Hills. Let's pretend that you have the traveling trophy. It's here. It's invisible, but here you go. I am virtually giving it to you for now. But again, when Brother Lance has it ready, we will officially give the traveling trophy. So make sure again you answer the question of the day for today for your where you at opportunity. And throughout the show as well, join in on our conversation so that you can also have your local congregation. The more that your the brethren in your local congregation participate is also part of this segment. So, Ate Abby, what do we have next?
So if Kuya Tech can play our next bumper on Did You Know, our next segment. Okay, so last week we asked a question. How long does it take to form a habit? So that was our question from last week. So the answer is approximately 66 days, which is the average. So the range is between 18 to 254 days. So again, like all the other answers or that you were in the chat were like, it depends on certain things. Yes, it does. It depends on certain circumstances, what you're trying to change and whatnot. But that's kind of like the general average that it will take days wise to form a habit. So, you can't form a habit within one day or so. So, small changes, and eventually you'll get used to doing the changes that you would like to do, especially relating to your health, like exercising or drinking more water, etc. There were some close answers, but the closest answer and the first one to answer it correctly is Sister Lorna Cruz from, I believe, Albany Extension. And she put approximately 2 months, which is approximately 60 days. So she's the closest. So congratulations to Sister Lorna. We'll give the prize to your resident minister or worker, and hopefully, and then don't forget to take a picture once you receive it, and then we can also recognize you. So for this week's question, did you know? Name at least one affordable nutrient-dense food. There's a bunch, so don't forget to also include your name and local congregation. So that's our question for this week. For Did You Know is, what is one affordable nutrient-dense food? Okay, so we look forward to seeing your answers. And I guess it's now to our main topic.
But before we go to our main topic, I just wanted to remind everyone that the prize that you get is the tote bag. So if you were there for our relaunching episode and if you saw that tote bag, remember that is the prize that you are getting. So definitely participate in our Did You Know question so that you can win a special edition How You Doing tote bag. Yeah, I've used mine already. I don't know if you used yours, Abby.
It's somewhere. To be honest, I have it somewhere. I'm one of those that I don't like to use things on, I don't, because I like it so much. I want to preserve the newness, but I will use it. It's probably going to be my work bag or my gym bag to put stuff in, but I want to savor the pristineness first.
Are you the type to also have a whole closet full of tote bags that's never been used?
Yes, and oh yeah, because you get a lot of those free tote bags from I go to conferences and and whatnot. So I do have it, and I do also use it for grocery shopping to cut down on the plastic bags or the paper bags and whatnot. So I try to do that as well.
Right. So, I mean, I also belong in that population that has all these tote bags that never uses them. But this one, I've actually used it already. So, it's hanging in the closet with the rest of the bags that's been used. But now, onto our main topic. Better food choices on a budget. So, eating healthy sometimes is associated with being expensive, but having a healthy, nutritious meal doesn't have to drain your wallet or blow your budget. With a little creativity, planning, and smart shopping, you can enjoy the foods that are both good for your body and be budget friendly. From simple pantry staples to fresh ingredients, there are many ways to put together affordable meals that are delicious and well balanced. So, again, today we're going to be talking about tips, strategies, and of course, our go-to recipes to make it easier to eat well without spending a fortune. And at the Abby and I will be bantering against this because she is a healthcare professional, and I guess on behalf of all the athletes on this tuning in, we have our kind of our own I want to say like routine or way of how we treat our bodies as well, and what we put into our bodies. So and at the end of the day, healthy eating doesn't always have to have fancy ingredients or complicated cooking. So I'm really excited to start this. So I guess the first question is, what comprises a healthy meal at the Abbey?
So a healthy meal is like, something that's all in balance. Now there is we used to have the pyramid, the food pyramid, correct? But now they change it to a plate. So you can go to myplate.gov and it will show you like visually what a balanced meal will look like. So you have to have half filled with fruits and vegetables for your vitamins, minerals, and fiber. And then you also, a quarter of the plate will be lean proteins such as chicken, fish, tofu, beans, or eggs. And the last quarter of the plate will be whole grains such as brown rice, quinoa, whole wheat pasta. And you can also add, healthy fats like avocado, nuts, or olive oil in moderation. So that's what your plate should look like. Like, I know sometimes it can be a struggle to include all those types of food on your plate. But, at least try to include more fruits and vegetables into your diet because that helps with, digestion and gut health to have, regular movements. Right. Yes. So yeah, everything in moderation. You can always, you can always substitute things for what you can afford or what you prefer. But try to avoid the fast food, like the greasy meal, the fried foods. I know they all taste great, but yeah, everything in moderation.
Sorry, at the Abbey, I still haven't had breakfast, so talking about food today is not really a good idea. But
I
you know, we're
know.
gonna, we're gonna push on through. But thank you for sharing that. Um, do you know what are some budget-friendly foods out there that you could recommend for us?
So there are a lot of it depends on where you live, what is local, what is like and whatnot. But some things that you can that are affordable and they're healthy are, frozen vegetables or canned vegetables. Um, there can be as nutritious as fresh, and sometimes they're cheaper and they're long lasting. So you don't have to, worry about food spoilage. Like if you buy fresh fruits or vegetables, you're like, oh, I can't finish all this within X amount of time, or you get I get sad when I went grab like something and it's already, rotten and you're like, ah. So, if you know that you're going to eat a lot of peas or a lot of beans or broccoli or whatnot, you can, instead of getting fresh, you can get frozen, or you can buy fresh food, blanch it and then freeze it yourself or vacuum save it yourself, if you know you're going to eat those foods consistently. Other things are like beans and lentils, and they're good source of protein. So canned beans, dried beans. I tried one time to cook dried beans, and I didn't realize how much water and how much time it takes to cook it to make it not as hard. So remember to read the instructions on how to do it. But beans and lentils are also inexpensive sources of protein. Other things are like canned tuna, peanut butter, oats. I know this may be controversial. Eggs. Eggs used, I haven't, I think the prices are okay. Or if you have your own chickens, there are some people in my neighborhood that have their own chickens and sell eggs. So eggs are also a good source of that's a healthy food that is reasonably affordable. But I feel like that's like a controversial item.
Do you like go to your neighbors and ask them for eggs?
They have a stand. It's pretty common in Connecticut. Like a lot of people have chickens, and people at work also, sell their eggs. And my grandmother has chickens, so she gives us eggs, as well. So
Sorry, I'm just looking at the comment section and I saw Sister Clarice Cervantes said she usually cooks rice with lentils to reduce carbs. And, I'm such a carb heavy person. Um, so I guess, in a way you can also still enjoy carbs, but, always limit and be proportionate about how much carbs you intake. So I guess moving on to our next question, what is meal planning and how should you do it?
so meal planning.
I
I
feel
know
like
it's kind of,
we've talked about this in past episodes about meal planning. So
yeah, like we know meal planning. It's like like you think about what you want to eat for the week, or a certain amount of time, and then you go grocery shopping, and then you figure out what meals you would like to eat. I'm terrible at meal planning personally, but I try. Like I have my staples, like my staple go-to meals, especially for work. I usually bring something that's more uh easier to eat at home, at work, compared to like a big meal or whatnot. um but yeah,
you know,
you can write down what you feel like preparing for the week, and then there are like apps or resources that you can use to kind of calculate how much of like certain, if you're counting your macros or your protein or whatnot, so you can like make meals that you can that's proportionate to your size, what you can eat. And then this also saves time, saves money, and it reduces the last minute, like, oh, I don't have food at home, let me just grab some fast food. So it also makes you more conscious of what you eat and make sure that you're on track for your health goals, especially if you want to eat healthier, so that you don't break your diet, I guess you can say, by going to like the fast food drive through because you forgot to go grocery shopping, which I've done a couple of times. So, but it's okay, you can have your cheat meal once in a while, but having meal planning can help reduce those spontaneous food runs.
I think our topic is so deliciously good today that Kuya Tech even got involved with the conversation. Ate, what did Kuya Tech say? I forgot.
I think he said eggs complete vitamins except vitamin C. Oh yeah, it is. It's a very nutritious um, uh, food. And back in the day when I was growing up, I remember eggs were considered like high in cholesterol, but it's like the good kind that it won't affect your cholesterol in your blood. So they're a good, incredible edible egg. If everyone remembers that jingle.
Loki, Kuya Tech really wants a how you doing tote bag too. Representing Main Studio right now. Thanks,
Yeah.
Kuya Tech. All right, next question. Is it better to cook at home? I always get this question, so from people, and like I've heard this so many times, but it's always good to cook at home. I think that's like the best way, right, to save money, to like, and you have more control of what you're
It,
putting into your body, into your into the pan that you're whatever food that you're
mhm.
cooking. You have more control in how much vegetables that you are putting in. So the healthier the merrier. So
Yeah. And like why you always wonder, why do restaurant or fast food or like takeout taste so much better? It's because they put a lot of salt and seasoning. And having a lot of salt in your diet is also not good for your heart or your blood pressure. So when you cook at home, you know how much of each things that you put in. You know how much salt you put in, or not a lot of salt because of your diet restrictions. And there are people with like food allergies that you have to be careful as well. So it's preferable that you try to cook at home. It's a little, more affordable because you can buy like a lot of vegetables when like a small portion can be like X amount of dollars when you're going out to eat. So in the long run, it's a little bit healthier and also a little bit more budget friendly in regards to your wallet if you cook at home.
All right. Well, besides cooking at home, what if we don't have any other choice but to eat out? Like, what can we do then? Like, how can we make that healthier? I know for me, it's not that I eat out. So if everyone's tuning in, don't tell my parents. But like, whenever I try to eat out, I always try to order something with like a side of salad or something, or like something a little healthier. Or I'll try to look at like the how they have the list of like ingredients, or like how many percentage of whatever it is it's on, like on the board, the calories or whatever. I look at.
Yeah, I mean,
So
like if I don't know, I feel like it's a state thing where they post like they have to post the nutrition or the calories, but sometimes you can look it up online or it's on the menu. So you like when you actually see how many calories a certain thing is, you're like, oh. But there, you can do substitutions like what Brother Christian says, instead of a side of fries, just get a side of vegetables or a side salad or whatnot. Instead of getting the fried option, consider getting the grilled option. And I know there's like other healthier versions on the menu that you can look at. And if you're getting a salad, you can ask for the dressing or the sauce on the side, so you can like proportion how much sauce or dressing that you're going to put on whatever you want. And if you're going to if you like soda, try to do maybe diet or just get water instead. And what some people do is that, sometimes the portions, I guess in America, I feel like, or Western countries, the portions are bigger. So sometimes you can ask for a takeout container already and set aside a certain portion for leftovers later. So you won't be tempted to, eat everything on the plate. And then, and try to be slow on your eating, because I know sometimes we tend to eat fast, and then when we eat fast we don't feel full as early, so then you overeat and then you feel kind of really, really full. So eat slower, or watch how much you eat, and don't eat until it starts to hurt. I know buffets are like really fun and we want to get our money's worth, but like, don't go every day or every week if you have to, or look at, it's a buffet, so you have like different choices. So have the balance of like, oh, I'm going to eat these type of vegetables first, I know this is steamed, not fried, not deep fried or whatnot, and then balance it out with that. So
right. Yeah, no. Thank you for telling us that. Yeah. Sorry, I'm like really distracted with the comment sections. Everyone is just telling us how they meal prep too, which is really cool. But yeah, I do agree with you that, substitutions in your meals is very important. Mom and dad, if you're watching this, I do not eat out a lot. So, and I always try to eat healthy. So, but yes. I guess last question, because we are coming to the end of our show, which is, very, very sad. But last question, what's your go-to budget meal? And don't say the franchise name.
okay. I really try to include more fruits and vegetables in my diet. So my go-to meal, I guess, for work lunch is like I usually have a salad. So I get like spinach, lettuce, carrots, tomatoes, some type of protein. So I have like a boiled egg, or I have grilled chicken or fish. And sometimes I add chickpeas. Like I change the toppings on my salad to have variety, so I won't get sick of it. Also, like I change up the dressing. Like I like ranch, or if you want balsamic vinegar, or if you make your own dressing, like I change up the dressing every other day, so I won't get tired of my salad. So I know, so that's kind of my go-to budget meal. I know there's like stir fries that you can use. There's like the frozen vegetables that you can quickly make a meal, and then you can add your own protein like tofu, beans, or whatnot. I know there's a lot of resources online that you can, like there's on videos and websites that can give you ideas on certain like budget friendly healthy options or meals if you're kind of running out of ideas. um, you know like for us, Filipino food is kind of salty, kind of like whatnot, but there are some good alternatives. Like you can like create it your own. The flavors are still there, but you can substitute certain things with other things. I've seen recipes that make sinigang with ground, like a stir fry. Like they use the seasoning packet, but they have like the eggplant, the beans, the whatever, but it's in like a stir fry instead of like the soup, and they use ground meat instead of like pork belly. Like you can um make substitutions, but still the flavors are still there. What is your go-to budget meal, healthy, Brother Christian?
Oh man, I was gonna say the franchise. Okay,
Uh,
I can't say that. Um, I guess my go-to is like stir-fried vegetables. I've like been on this crave of stir-fried food. Usually I try to like use healthier choices of the oil that I'm using. So either avocado or extra olive. But really like when I do stir fry, I do a lot of like kind of like Chinese style, but in a more healthier sense. So like I do a lot of veggies like broccoli, cauliflower, do some carrots, I do throw in some spinach in there. So there's a
mhm.
lot of that's like my go-to, like even if for like a snack, like if I can make a prep, like it's so easy to cook and prepare that it's just easier to have that as a good meal to have. I just want to read the comments because a lot of our viewers are actually sharing with us what their go-to budget meal is.
Yes.
Brother Chad Bustamante said, my go-to budget meal is tuna sandwich and water. And Sister Gemma Sturba says her go-to meal is hard-boiled eggs, almond cashew nuts, and mozzarella cheese.
Ooh, that actually sounds good.
Yeah, I'm like I said that and my mouth started like watering. Thank you, Sister Gemma, and also happy birthday to you. So everyone, please greet Sister Gemma Sturba. Happy birthday. She's my on-screen mom. So happy birthday. But I think that brings us to the end of our conversation, right, Atta? We just have to. What's next?
Yes. So we will give you another week for our next segment, What You Doing? So last week our prompt was, what is one small lifestyle change you would like to work on for this week? We can continue on with this week. We have some submissions from last week, so we really appreciate those who submitted it. But we will give you more time to submit your submissions. We'll put the link in the chat for you to participate, and we'll highlight your submissions next week. But in addition, if you would like to also, if you for you to also do for this week is that you should, if you could send a photo or video of your go-to healthy budget friendly meal. Again, the link is in the chat. And we'll again highlight your submissions next week.
Yes, and of course we still have one more segment, but we don't have to play the bumper for it. So we're just gonna tell you what's happening in our district with what we do. And so, on October 18th, there's a Care for Humanity More Than Pink Walk at University of Massachusetts with Boston. So, if you're interested in that, please reach out to the officers there. There's just so much happening in our district for the month of October. So really fun activities like Bronx is having a CFO Nature Walk on the 19th, and the Kadiwa Brethren in Rochester is having a Kadiwa Taco Day and Guarding. So very interesting. And of course, on October 24, we have our Unity Games Esports Local Edition. So something to look forward to. Our Rochester Brethren is also having a CWS museum tour. So on the 25th. So that's also something interesting. If you are interested in joining them, please reach out to them as well. On the 26th, there's a Binhi socializing activity, and Belmore is also having a CFO youth bonding activity on the 25th if you are interested in joining them. So really lots of things are happening. And for our shout outs and greetings, I know there's so many people commenting on the live chat, but we are just out of time today. But
I
um,
know.
I know. I mean, our conversation was so good, but thank you so much for commenting. Again, join us for that What You Doing segment. Keep submitting the link, and we will have something for you next week as well. And of course, happy birthday to Sister Gemma Sturba, Sister Riza Zafaris from Forest Hills. And of course, my mom, her birthday is coming up on Tuesday, September 23. So happy birthday, Mom. Quick shout out. And that is all for our show today. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you to our church administration for giving us a platform to share and speak about important and interesting topics like these. Greetings to our beloved Executive Minister, Brother Eduardo V. Manalo, and our current Deputy Executive Minister, Brother Angelo Aranyo Manalo. Also, greetings to our INCRadio Station Manager, Brother Wally Taray, and our Executive Producer, Kuya Manly Anday.
We will also like to greet our District Minister, Brother Sheridan Santos, our Assistant District Minister, Brother Neil Patrick Omelda, and our CFO Advisor, Brother Jason Flores. Remember, health isn't about being perfect. It's about those small, everyday choices that add up. So give yourself grace, stay consistent, and keep finding that balance. Until next time, don't forget to catch us again next Saturday at 11:30 a.m. Eastern Time or Sunday at 11:30 p.m. Philippine Time right here on How
How you doing?
Nakikinig kayo sa Iglesia ni Cristo Radio, DZEM 954, ang tinig ng katotohanan.